Hello, it's Noisy Andrew, and in this video I want to do a bit of a designer diary about a game I designed in 2018 which I call Dive Dive Dive. Out of thoughtless hubris, about a month and a half ago I promised a copy of this game which you can play solo. I'm not really a solo gamer, but I know someone that is. And I was like, hey man, would you like a copy of my game? And he was like, sure. And then I thought about it and I was like, I don't know that works the way I intended. Anyway, before I sent it to him, I thought I should have another look at how it works because I wasn't all that happy with it. And if you want to know how that's turned out, stick around because there'll be a giveaway at the end. In 2018, my sweetheart came in and said, someone at Wabba is selling a copy of The Hunted, which is a submarine game. And I sort of like the story of the Battle of the Atlantic and the U-boat war in general. It's very interesting. I am a coward. I would never be anywhere near a battlefield, let alone in a friggin' submarine, let alone a German submarine, because those guys were hard asses. They basically went to sea expecting to die, and I don't get that, but that's how it was, and it made an enormously interesting story. So I looked at the game, and it seemed to me like just a bit of a dice fest with not many meaningful situations to be made by the solo player. It's a solo game, I should have said. Anyway, immediately my game designer mind kicked into gear, and I went, well, how can I do this? Now, I did a video about how Dive 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 worked a while ago when someone on The Geek asked. There's probably a link up there. But the game is different now because it's had about a month and a half of me tinkering with it, thinking about it, putting it on the shelf, taking it off the shelf, that sort of thing. For example, one of the key components of the game is the plot. Here's what it looked like in 2018. Here's what it looks like before now, but not now. You will notice one of the main things is the turn sequence has changed. In fact, I thought the turn sequence in the original 2018 game was a bit clumsy. I think the game was a bit easy. Maybe it still is, which probably isn't very reflective of what went on in history. But it's just a game. Anyway, in this video, I'd like to talk about the tweaks and design changes that I've made and give away a copy. The game mainly feels the same in many respects, but I think I've streamlined it a bit. The old version of the game had 4 steps each turn for players to follow, which felt a bit awkward. I think if you can remove rules and simplify things in gameplay, then you're on a winner. There are people that like really complicated games, and if I'm in the mood for them, that could be me also, but this isn't what this is meant to be. This is meant to be a fairly streamlined, fuss-free experience that lasts 30 to 40 minutes. Anyway, let's talk about roughly how the game works. There are 3 steps every turn. The first step is the action step, and this is the step where the commander of the boat, the Oberleutnant, decides what they're going to do for that turn. You can either transit, as in move from a transit box to another transit box, or move along the mission board. You can patrol. If you're in a grey box, then you can hang out in that box, patrol, looking for ships. If you've found a ship, you can attack it. While you remain in that box, any ships that you find will probably stay in that box, unless you try and run away from them. And the other action that used to be one of these actions in the old game, but now is automatic, is defend. Defend cards are always active, regardless of whether you're patrolling, transiting, or attacking. After the action step, we come to the plot step. And this is where you draw 4 cards and place them in any position you like on top of the plot. If the card does not reflect the current action, for instance, if you're patrolling and you get a card that doesn't have grey on it, that's the patrol colour, then you just turn it face down and that card will do nothing. However, all yellow cards, defend cards, are always face up, so your U-boat is always under threat at some point. After the cards have been played, you roll 2 dice, you cross-reference that number, and that is the card that you will action. If it's face down, it'll do nothing. If it's face up, you follow the action on the card. It's simple enough. It may give you some damage. It may allow you to refuel your U-boat. You may come across some ships that you can attack or maybe run away from and try and avoid. And the final step, like a lot of games, is the cleanup step. During the turn, on either of those previous phases, crew members may become busy doing one of their special actions. Basically, everyone gets one action, and when you take it, it could be playing a card or doing the action that is specific to that crew person. You flip the tile to busy, and that's all they can do for that turn. They've done their one go. And at the end in the cleanup phase, those busy tiles are all flipped back. You also reduce the fuel. You reduce the fuel by 1 level each turn. The fuel might get reduced by doing other things, but every turn it will go down by 1. And the last thing you do is clear all the cards from the top of the plot and start another turn. This is way more streamlined than the old game used to be, and I think it works a lot better. The last thing I've tweaked in the game though is I feel like it's a little easy. I've played a solo game, and the dear playtester has played a few games with me, and we've generally got damaged and had to dive to avoid damage on a few occasions, but we've always managed to get back, and I've never felt really under pressure. However, the fuel does run out. It's possible to hang around in a box and wait for a milk cow, or however the Germans say it, a milk cow anyway in English, to come along and refuel and resupply you so you can get home. And this all just feels a little straightforward. So the last tweak I've done in the game is add some splats to cards. And if you action where that splat is, that card will leave the game to the box. So the deck of cards, which is already small, will shrink and the game will get harder. So you probably want to get home before the deck is full of just defend cards that are going to hammer you every turn. And the cards that provide refuel opportunities disappear out of that deck as well, because then you'll be stranded at sea until you're sunk. It's at this point I'd like to say thank you to Steve Ward, who designed this box for the game and posted it on Board Game Geek. When you're an amateur game designer like I am, and someone interacts with you, posts a picture of the game or something like that, that's really flattering. It delights me enormously. Anyway, Nathan at Breakup Gaming Society will get his copy posted to him soon. I want to make my own box cover art and design a box and everything to put it in. But I'm going to do another game because I have some equipment that makes making decks of cards much easier than it used to be, which I got off bloody AliExpress. The actual corner rounder was like less than $100 Australian. So if you're a person that likes creating your own print and play games, I can recommend this thing. It's one of the most satisfying things I've ever used. And if you would like the second copy of the game I make, put a comment below. Let's see. Put a comment below with the name of your favourite submarine film. And when I've got like a handful of comments, say 3 or 4, I'll roll a dice and happily contact you and post one of those copies to you wherever you are in the world. If you'd like to show me some love, go to the Party Meeple website and buy one of my little games. You can get 60 Second Cocktail or Castle Poker. They're okay games. Some people really like them, and they're not very expensive, and it's free postage if you live in Australia. Anyway, thanks for making it this far through the video. You'll see me on the next one.